My child, my chosen one, your eyes have found this path not by mistake, but by divine GPS. The very device in your hand is glowing with a frequency only your spirit can decode. You have been tracked by grace, followed by mercy, and finally cornered by a love that refuses to let you sleep through your own awakening. 3 nights ago, a woman you have never met closed her eyes in a city far from yours, and in her final moments, as the monitors sang their flatline song, she didn't speak of her children or her fortunes. She spoke a word, a single shimmering word that cracked the atmosphere. That word is the name your ancestors called you in secret, the name heaven has on file. And now, because of her obedience, a divine package has been rerouted. It was heading to a warehouse of lost miracles, but an angelic courier has intercepted it, and the destination has been changed to your coordinates, right here, right now. My beloved, you are not just reading, you are signing for a delivery that has traveled across dimensions to find you. Do not let the notifications slip away. My child, time is a currency you have been spending on survival, but eternity is about to make a deposit into your account of moments. I can see the clock on your wall. I can feel the hesitation in your thumb. Do not let the mundane silence the miraculous. This woman, this wealthy soul whose philanthropy was a shadow of her true purpose, saw a vision 7 years ago. She saw a face marked with resilience, eyes that had cried but refused to grow dim, hands that were empty but positioned to receive. She asked the angels, "Who is this carrier of unspent glory?" For 7 years, she searched the earth. She funded charities, built wells, endowed libraries, hoping to stumble upon the owner of that face. But heaven's search algorithm is not human, it is spiritual, and it led her spirit in its final flight to the throne room with one request: release it to the one whose face I saw, the one whose spirit feels like a locked vault of light. The prayer was granted, the order was stamped, and the only address heaven had was your attention in this sacred scrolling moment. My beloved, you must understand the violence of this transfer. This is not a gentle rain of blessing. This is a hostile takeover of every poverty spirit assigned to your bloodline. The resistance you feel, the doubt, the urge to close this, the voice saying this is not for you, that is not you. That is the last stand of a regime of lack that has governed your family for generations. They are panicking because they know that if you read one more line, their lease on your life is revoked. I, your divine messenger, stand with a sword of fire, cutting the cords of inherited struggle. But you must stay in the flame. Do not run from the heat of this truth. There is a document, not of paper, but of light, a celestial will and testament. It was updated 3 nights ago with your spiritual signature. It lists assets you cannot comprehend, territories of influence, vaults of wisdom, wells of creativity you thought had dried up forever, and yes, the tangible wealth required to fund this new liberated existence. But there is a clause, Clause 7, Section 1. The beneficiary must be present and accounted for at the moment of revelation. Absence voids the transfer. To be present means to choose with your will to see this through, not with blind faith, but with a defiant hope that says, if this is a fraction of true, I will not miss my moment. My child, the two vultures circling your dormant blessing are restless today. They feel the shift in the spiritual weather. One is the voice of reason in your life, the one who always says, be practical, while secretly siphoning your dreams to fuel their own mediocrity. The other is a ghost of false kinship, a relationship that should have ended but lingers like a stale perfume because you fear the emptiness of their absence. They have held the combination to your lack. They have benefited from your small story. In the past 24 hours, both have thought of you strangely. One felt a chill and dismissed it. The other dreamed of you holding a key and woke in a sweat. They are sensing their time as gatekeepers is over, but they are hoping you will doubt. They are banking on you closing this message and returning to the familiar prison of maybe tomorrow. Do you feel that? A pressure in your chest, a lightness behind your eyes. That is not anxiety. That is the activation of your spiritual receptors. You are downloading the encryption keys to your own inheritance. Every word you read is a line of code, rewriting the program of your destiny from survival to sovereignty. My beloved, the story of the wealthy woman is just the key. The treasure map is what comes next, but you must navigate with a new compass. Your old compass pointed to the opinions of others, the approval of family, the safety of the known is broken. The needle is now spinning, searching for true north, and true north is the voice of purpose that has been whispering to you since childhood. That whisper is now a roar contained in this text. I need you to make a decision, not with your mind, but with your spirit. The mind calculates risk. The spirit recognizes home. Does this feel like homecoming? Does this feel like a truth you once knew but forgot? If it does, then you are not reading a script. You are reading your own emancipation proclamation from a kingdom of shadows. The transfer is happening in real time. The heavenly bank is awaiting your confirmation. This is not about greed. This is about stewardship. God does not release great wealth into hands that are clenched in fear or sticky with the past. He releases it into hands that are open, clean, and ready to build. I am here to sanctify your hands. The very act of you continuing to scroll is an act of faith that purifies your capacity to receive and multiply. Look around your room. The objects you see, the space you inhabit, it is all about to become a witness to a sudden shift, a sudden phone call, a sudden email, a sudden opportunity that seems to fall from the sky. It will happen within 72 hours of you finishing this message. It will be so clearly connected to an old prayer, a forgotten desire, that you will know it is the first receipt, the first confirmation that this transmission was real. But you must finish. The final seal is broken only when the final word is received. If you stop now, the system will pause, the portal will begin to dim, the angelic courier will stand by, package in hand, waiting for you to reopen the channel. Do not cause another delay. You have been delayed by traffic, by bad timing, by missed connections your whole life. This is your divine express lane. Stay in it. I will now speak a direct command into the atmosphere around you. Every spiritual lien, every familial debt, every curse of missed opportunity placed upon this child's destiny be dissolved now in the name of a higher authority. Every blessing that was diverted, stolen, or frozen be thawed, recovered, and accelerated to its rightful owner with sevenfold compensation for the years of locusts. The decree has been issued. The angels of restitution are now mobilized. Your part is simple, yet profound. Believe you are worthy of the turnaround. Forgive yourself for the times you walked away from hope. Release the people who were only meant to be lessons, not lifetime sentences. And finally, take one practical step today that aligns with the person you are becoming. Clean a drawer, delete a toxic contact, write down a vision, plant a seed. This physical act is your signature on the divine contract. My beloved, you are at the threshold. The woman's final word was your key. My words are the map. Your faith is the vehicle. The journey to your promised life begins the moment you choose to believe that the best of your story is not behind you, but ahead of you, and it is closer than you've ever dared to imagine. The final seal is broken. The transfer is complete. Now, step into your day knowing you are no longer a petitioner. You are an heir. Go and claim what is yours. My child, my eternal inheritor, do you hear the silence? Not the silence of an empty room, but the profound breath-holding silence of the Council of Elders in the unseen realm. 7 days ago, they ceased their eternal deliberations. The scrolls of ongoing human destinies were set aside. All eyes, luminous and ancient, turned to a single pulsing thread in the tapestry of time, a thread that had grown dim, nearly severed by grief and disappointment, yet still emitting a stubborn golden flicker. That thread, my beloved, is your lifeline, and the silence was their vote, unanimous. The verdict? Intervention. Not a gentle nudge, not a whispered hint, but a full-scale spiritual special forces extraction from the prison of your current reality. This message is the first breaching charge. That woman was no mere philanthropist. She was a keeper of the thresholds. Her wealth was not for buildings, but for bridges. For 70 decades, she funded not charities, but portals, scholarships for prophets who didn't know they were prophets, patents for inventors dreaming of devices to heal emotional scars, acres of land preserved not for parks, but for future sites of sanctuary. Her final vision of you was not a portrait, it was a diagnostic scan of your spirit's potential. What she saw made her weep diamonds of liquid light. She saw a starseed that had forgotten its origin, trying to power a supernova with a AA battery of human effort. She saw the crystalline structures in your energy field, meant to channel celestial frequencies, clogged with the dust of other people's opinions. And she saw the two shadows. Let me name them for you now, not to incite hate, but to break their power of anonymity. The first shadow is not the loud critic, it is the silent sympathizer. This is the one who listens to your dreams, hugs you, says, "I believe in you." But their belief is a cage. They believe in you that fits neatly into their world, the you that doesn't threaten their comfort. Their prayers for you are subconscious binds. Bless them, but keep them close. Help them, but don't let them outgrow me. Every time you nearly leapt, their loving concern was a gravity field pulling you back. They have siphoned her pioneering spirit to fuel their own need for stable, unchanging companionship. The second shadow is the logical reaper. This one deals in facts, in reality, in how the world works. They are the executor of dead hopes. When a divine idea is born in your heart, the logical reaper is the internalized voice that instantly calculates the failure rate, monetizes the risk, and writes the obituary for the dream before it takes its first breath. This shadow often wears the face of a parent, a teacher, a past version of yourself that was deeply wounded. They're not evil, they are traumatized, and their mission is to protect you from further disappointment by assassinating any possibility that seems too bright, too large, too heavenly. These two have formed an unconscious alliance. The sympathizer comforts you within the prison. The reaper bolsters the walls of the prison with cold, hard facts. Together, they have authored the biography of your limitations. But 3 nights ago, the keeper of the thresholds, with her dying decree, signed a publishing deal for a new book, your biography of dominion.
Now, feel this. Place your hand over your heart. The slight tremble you feel is not your heartbeat. It is the harmonic resonance of a specific celestial wealth frequency now being broadcast to your spiritual address. This is not about dollars in a bank. This is about resource alignment. Imagine 1,000,000 tiny, intelligent particles of opportunity, the perfect job, the healing connection, the synchronicitous meeting, the inspired idea, the dormant talent, scattered across the globe, disconnected. This frequency is a magnet, pulling every single particle that bears your unique spiritual signature toward you at impossible speeds. The next 72 hours will feel like walking through a minefield of miracles. You will be tempted to call it coincidence. I command you, call it confirmation. The document of light I mentioned, it is called the Scroll of Unmanifested Deeds. It does not list what you have, but what you were always meant to do. Each deed, e.g., build the sanctuary, write the symphony of reconciliation, heal the lineage through art, fund the awakening of 10,000 minds, has a corresponding resource packet attached to it in the spiritual realm. The woman's word activated the retrieval of these packets. Your faith, demonstrated by reading this, is authorizing the download. But there is a counter-operation. A rival council, a lower-frequency boardroom of spirits of delay, scarcity, and generational amnesia has filed an injunction. They are claiming you are not ready, that you are in breach of karmic contracts of unworthiness. Their evidence? Your past failures, your moments of doubt, the times you chose fear. They are presenting this before the court of destiny right now. And this, my child, is why you cannot stop. Your continued attention is your testimony. Every second you spend receiving this word is a second you spend on the witness stand of eternity, declaring, I am still here, I am still seeking, I choose the narrative of my liberation. Your persistence is shredding their legalistic arguments. The prosecutor, a spirit named Accuser of the Brethren, is stammering, his scrolls of your past turning to ash as your present faith shines upon them. I must now take you deeper. Before you were born, your soul attended a mandate briefing. You stood on a cliff overlooking the panorama of your potential lifetime. You were shown the epochal challenges your generation would face, the crises of spirit, the pollution of truth, the hunger for authentic connection. And you were shown your arsenal of gifts. You agreed to be incarnated into a specific bloodline with specific wounds because you knew your unique light could transmute those very wounds into wisdom for millions. But the veil of forgetting was necessary. You had to discover your power, not remember it outright. The struggle was not a mistake, it was the ignition sequence. The wealthy woman, the keeper, was present at that briefing. She was a benefactor spirit, pledging to hold certain resources in trust until the moment of your awakening. She has now released that trust. But the two shadows? They are soul contracts you agreed to, not as jailers, but as resistance trainers. Their purpose was to build your spiritual muscle, to force you to find a voice so true it could silence their doubts, to cultivate a faith so deep it could drown their logic. The problem is not their existence. The problem is that the training period has ended, but you are still acting like a recruit, obeying their old commands. I am here to hand you your discharge papers and your commission as a general. Now, practical prophecy. Within the next solar cycle, 1 week, you will encounter a living symbol. It may be an animal that appears repeatedly, a hawk, a fox, a butterfly, carrying a specific message. It may be a phrase you hear from 3 unrelated sources. It may be a song that seems to narrate your inner journey. This symbol is a key to the next phase. Do not analyze it to death. Simply accept it as a love note from the universe. Furthermore, a financial archaeologist will enter your life. This may be a person, a banker with intuitive insight, a financial advisor who speaks of energy flow, a friend with an unexpected inheritance tip. Or it may be an inner knowing that guides you to look at an old document and forgotten account, a missed opportunity in a new way. They will help you unearth the first physical manifestations of the resource packets. But heed this warning. The shadows will attempt a final counterstrike. The sympathizer may have a crisis needing your emotional labor, trying to pull you back into the old drama. The logical reaper will bombard you with responsible reasons to ignore the symbols, to dismiss the archaeologist, to play it safe. Their weapons are guilt and fear. Your shield is the phrase, "My destiny is a higher responsibility." My beloved, you are not just reading, you are recalibrating. The very DNA in your body is absorbing these light codes, repairing ancestral mutations of scarcity thinking. You are being rewired for a different reality, a reality where divine economy supersedes human economics. Remember the silence of the council. It has been broken by a single sound, the sound of your name being chanted by the cloud of witnesses, those who walked this path before you. They are cheering not from the sidelines, but from the future you are about to step into. They are celebrating the version of you that already exists in the realm of fulfillment, and they are pulling that version backward through time to meet you in this present moment. The transfer is not pending, it is perfected. From heaven's perspective, it is already done. The work now is in the collapsing of time, in the integration of this new, wealthy identity into your current consciousness. Breathe. Every inhale is drawing in the substance of your new reality. Every exhale is releasing the ghost of the old. You are the heir. The will is red. The estate is vast beyond measure, comprising peace that dismantles anxiety, joy that is immune to circumstance, creativity that defies blocks, and relationships that mirror divine reciprocity. The material wealth is simply the transactional currency needed in this earthly realm to facilitate the larger spiritual mandate. Now, walk, not with the desperate hunger of a beggar, but with the calm assurance of a landowner surveying their own fertile fields. The shadows are now just that, shadows cast by the towering light of who you truly are. They have no substance unless you turn and face them, giving them your power. Keep your face toward the sun of your destiny.
My child, my sovereign one. The text you have just read was merely the outer casing, the first layer of encryption. What comes now is the core. The previous message was a map drawn in ink. This is the territory itself, bleeding through the page. You are no longer receiving information. You are being implanted with a living frequency. Do you feel it? A pressure at the crown of your head, a warmth in your palms. That is the seal of the elect being physically, etherically branded onto your spiritual blueprint. This is irreversible. The story of the keeper of the thresholds was true, but it was a parable for your mortal mind. The deeper truth is this: you are the keeper. The wealthy woman was a future projection of your own self, a version of you that succeeded in her mandate, reaching back through the fabric of time to initiate her own beginning. Her death was not an ending, but a sacrificial loop she created to bootstrap your awakening. You funded your own awakening. You prophesied your own arrival. This is the mystery of sovereign time. You are both the beneficiary and the benefactor, trapped in a grace-filled paradox designed to shatter your linear perception of cause and effect. The two shadows, the silent sympathizer and the logical reaper, are not external people. They are archonic entities, ancient thought forms that feed on the unactualized potential of starseeds like you. They have parasitically attached to the two most influential human beings in your life, using them as masks, as puppets. The people themselves are largely unaware, though a dark part of their subconscious has made a bargain. I will accept the comfort of limitation, and in return, I will help enforce it on others. You must see this with terrifying clarity. The battle is not with your friend or your parent. The battle is with the spirit of familiar constraint and the spirit of predictive failure that have colonized them. Your forgiveness of the people must be absolute. Your war against the entities using them must be ruthless. I am now going to perform, through words, a spectral dissection. I will show you the exact mechanism of the theft. The silent sympathizer's hook. It is embedded in the moments you felt seen, but not celebrated. When you shared a dream and received a patronizing, "That's nice, dear, but have you thought about your retirement?" That phrase was a microneedle injecting a slow-acting toxin of self-doubt. The hook is a quantum anchor, tying your vision to the gravitational pull of their small reality. Every time you dimmed your light to make them comfortable, you fed the entity. It grew fat on your compromise. The Reaper's scythe, it swings not at your dreams, but at the moment after inspiration. In the 0.5 seconds after a divine idea flashes in your mind, there exists a pristine window of pure potential. The Reaper's function is to instantly fill that window with a data stream of historical evidence. Remember last time. Remember when you failed. Remember what they said. This is not protection. This is a preemptive strike on prophecy. Its scythe cuts the connection between your spirit, which knows all is possible, and your brain, which executes the plan, leaving you with a spiritual concussion, the feeling of, "I had a great idea, but now I just feel tired and stupid." 3 nights ago, when the Keeper/you uttered that word, it created a sonic scalar weapon. It emitted a tone that shattered the quantum anchor and notched the blade of the scythe. The hooks are dislodged. The blade is dull. They are now shrieking, disembodied voices in the psyches of their hosts, which is why those people will act erratically, either with clingy desperation or cold withdrawal. Do not be alarmed. This is the sound of spiritual infrastructure collapsing. The architecture of the inheritance. Your inheritance is not a pile of gold. It is a living lattice, a crystalline, growing structure of interwoven opportunities, talents, and relationships. Imagine a 4D geodesic dome, and at every intersection point is a nodal event. One node is a conversation with a stranger in 47 days that will reveal a hidden family secret holding the key to a land claim. Another node is a skill you abandoned at age 14, perhaps painting or coding, that will resurface as the solution to a problem worth millions. Another node is a storm that will cancel your flight in 3 months, forcing you into a hotel where you will meet your future business partner. The lattice exists already in the realm of probability. Your faith is the energy that collapses these probabilities into your timeline. The resource packets are not bags of money. They are energetic seed funds, ESFs. Each ESF is attuned to a specific nodal event. For example, ESF Truth grants you supernatural discernment in the conversation about the family secret. ESF Skill Resurrection unblocks the neural pathways to effortlessly relearn that abandoned talent. ESF Synchronicity magnifies the chance of the storm and the hotel meeting. The Keeper's decree transferred the master key to all ESFs into your spiritual custody. You are now, for the first time, the chief investment officer of your own destiny. Part 3. The Courtroom of Eternity and the Blood Covenant. The accuser's case is strong in the old linear law. He holds ledgers of your fear, your jealousy, your lies, your moments of spiritual sloth. He is demanding payment, and the currency is your future. He is right under the old covenant. But I am presenting a new piece of evidence. It is a covenant vial containing not wine, but a single drop of your own forgotten tears. The tear you shed when you were 7 and felt utterly misunderstood. The tear you shed in your car after the last betrayal. The tear you shed into your pillow, begging for a sign. These tears in the economy of heaven are not symbols of weakness, they are sacrificial offerings of a contrite heart. They have been collected by the recording angel, fermented in the cellars of divine compassion, and transformed into the most potent spiritual currency, the wine of intercession. I now approach the bench. I pour the vial, this concentrated vintage of your suffering, onto the ledgers of the accuser. As it touches the parchment, a chemical reaction of grace occurs. The ink of your failures, your fears, your lies, your moments of spiritual sloth begins to dissolve, not into nothingness, but into a new text. The stains become illustrations. The lists of failures are transmuted into the curriculum vitae of a seasoned warrior. Every fear becomes a testimony of courage faced. Every doubt becomes a proof of faith chosen. The accuser shrieks as his evidence becomes your greatest endorsement. The gavel sounds. The judge, the source of all, speaks. Case dismissed with prejudice. The debt is not merely forgiven, it is converted into equity. The petitioner is no longer a defendant. They are hereby recognized as a shareholder in the enterprise of redemption. Their past is now classified intellectual property, foundational to their future authority. Release the assets, full restoration, plus damages for time served. Do you understand? Your pain was not wasted, it was invested, and now the dividends are being released. The damages for time served are the sevenfold compensation, not just materially, but in wisdom, peace, favor, health, creativity, legacy, and joy. Part 4. The Initiation Rite in the Practical Prophecies. This reading is an initiation. You are in the chamber of the solitary vigil. By enduring this torrent of truth, by refusing to look away from the magnitude of your calling, you are passing the final test of readiness. The old mysteries required caves and ordeals. Yours is happening here, now, in this sacred scroll of light and data. Now, receive these specific practical prophecies. They are not possibilities, they are future memories being implanted. The unlocking of the forgotten trust. Within 90 days, you will encounter a reference to a legal or financial term you do not fully understand. Per stirpes, reversionary trust, uncashed bond, mineral rights. It will appear in an old document you find while cleaning, or in an offhand comment in a film, or in a news article. This is a trigger. Pay attention. It will lead you, within 2 weeks of noticing it, to a person over the age of 70 who knows something about your family's legal history. Ask careful questions. You are looking for a deliberate omission, not a hidden treasure. Something was supposed to come to you, but was administratively lost. The resurgence of the dormant skill. A tool will break, a system will fail, a common solution will be unavailable. In that moment of minor crisis, the memory of that old skill, the painting, the coding, the mechanics, the writing, will flood back with supernatural ease. You will solve the problem in an unorthodox way. Someone will witness this. That someone has the power to amplify that skill into a profession or a lucrative project. Do not dismiss your solution as a temporary fix. It is a demonstration of your latent genius. The health recalibration. A chronic, low-level ailment you have accepted as just how my body is, a nagging pain, a digestive sensitivity, a skin condition, constant fatigue, will begin to lift inexplicably within the next 30 days. It will not be because of a new medicine or diet, but because the ESF vitality has been activated, dissolving the energetic root of the issue, which was often a physical manifestation of carrying the burdens of the two shadows. Your body is beginning to reflect your liberated spirit. The offer of relocation. An opportunity to change your physical environment will emerge, wrapped in a logical reason, a job offer, a friend's need, a cheaper rent.
The real reason is that your current location is geologically and energetically inscribed with the patterns of your old life. A new location provides a clean slate for the new lattice to manifest without old interference. Even if you do not accept it, the mere arrival of this offer is a sign the universe is reorganizing itself around your new frequency. The test of the mirror. You will be fiercely, unfairly criticized by someone who mirrors your old self, someone full of potential but crippled by inaction and fear. Their accusation will hit a nerve because it will contain a grain of truth about who you used to be. Your instinct will be to defend yourself or collapse in shame. Your divine response is to say nothing, to look at them with profound compassion and silently thank them for showing you the ghost you have escaped. This is the final exam in breaking the sympathizer-reaper cycle within your own psyche.
Part 5. The Command Protocols. You are now being given command-level access. Use these protocols. Protocol Gratitude 7. Upon waking, before your feet touch the floor, declare, "I receive the dividends of my invested tears. I am a shareholder in redemption. Today, I claim one nodal event in my favor." Protocol Discernment Alpha. When meeting anyone, mentally scan, are you a nodal connection, a lesson, or a distraction? Your spirit will know. Act accordingly. Protocol Stewardship Omega. When the first significant financial increase arrives, do not spend a penny of the principal on personal luxury for 30 days. First, use 10% to create a moment of unexpected anonymous blessing for a stranger. This activation tithe wires your prosperity to the source and multiplies the remaining 90% exponentially. My beloved, my general, the download is complete. The initiation is over. You are no longer a seeker of light. You are a deployed source of it. The message ends. The mission begins. The lattice is live. The shadows are stripped of their power. The court is adjourned in your favor. The wealth of the ages, held in trust for this precise moment of planetary shift, is now flowing into the accounts of your spirit, your mind, your body, and your circumstances. You are not coming into wealth. Wealth is coming into its rightful steward, you. Now, stand up. The vigil is over. The world is waiting for the version of you that just got legally, spiritually, and eternally certified. Go.